Hello. This is the car. This is the 64 Oldsmobile. I'm going to find a place to put the phone or it won't fall over, hopefully. And then we're going to start it up so you can hear what I'm dealing with. Maybe it's just as well if I hold on to it. All right, so hopefully it kicks right over. I haven't started in a minute. Hang on. There's a little exhaust leak on the left-hand side, but that's not what I'm worried about. We're gonna get the kick down. There you go. So obviously it still needs to tune. I want to fix that exhaust leak, but give it a minute. The leak's down here under the manifold. It's down there. A little bit of a tick. It tends to smooth out, I think, once we build oil pressure. I'm not certain. I'm not confident about the oil pressure either. I want to get a pressure gauge I can put on it. That's all I heard. I'd live with it. Just for a little while. It's definitely got a little bit of a tick. Again, that could just be low oil pressure, so I got to check that out. It doesn't have gauges, it's just got the lights right here, and they're not lit, you know, so and I know it's got oil. I checked the oil. That's the fast idle cam on the other side. I still got to make an adjustment on that. See if I can get it to kick down a little bit. There you go. That's better. Like I said, it's just that fast idle cam. Here it comes. You can hear it starting to tick now. Hear that? Tick, 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 tick. From down below. Previously it got worse. What are we? 4 minutes. 5 minutes in. You know, it might take more like 15-20 minutes, so we'll let it run. See how long it takes to really develop that knock. Not just a tick. When it goes, it's a knock. You can hear it. You can hear it develop. It starts from quiet And then quickly gets louder and louder and louder until it becomes a very audible knock, 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 knock. Like I said, if that's all I got, I wouldn't worry as much about it. I would just drive the car for a while, see how she performs. I still got to connect the power steering pump. The hoses are over here. I got the fluid to flush it. So the connector will flush. You can notice that there's no fan shroud. There's not even a fan down there. See the pulley? There's no fan on there. I got the fan inside. But we're not driving it that far, and the radiator connector has got plenty of coolant. So it's running coolant through the motor so it doesn't get hot. I do have a temperature gauge too. I can check when the engine gets up. It gets up to about 180, 185. That's all it gets to, which is fine. It's a 180 degree thermostat. This is, like I said, if this is all it did, I wouldn't worry about it. I think it sounds pretty damn good. And again, you hear the tick kind of settle down a little bit. I think that's as the oil pressure builds. And I can get under there and tighten that exhaust. I could definitely do that. Sorry, I know it's boring. Look, while we're doing this, I can show you a little bit about it. All right. You can look down the side. It's a 1964 88. Right? This thing's about 20 feet long here, man. 19 and change anyway. There's your trunk. There's the wheels. Here, while I'm back here, this box, I got a new set of hubcaps for it. Check them out. Don't they look nice? I got a full set of those just like that in that condition. Those are sweet. I think those are the 63. This is a 64. Here you go. Down the passenger side, you can see this little flare in the rear quarter panel and it's dead straight. You love the little remnants of the little fins. It's still got an idea of a fin. That's a power antenna. Obviously, convertible power top. I think it rides a little low in the back. When I get it out on the street, we'll take a look at it. Here's the interior. This is all original, man. This is all original. You got the convertible top boot, the AM radio, the fuzzy dice in the mirror. The top's showing some wear. It's not terrible, but you can see right here. Just got the holes. It's really just starting to pull away. Also, I think the door rubbers, you can see right here, the window scrapers, they're really brittle, they're broken. So if this got out in the rain, the water would all get in there, leak down the bottom of the door. So I won't do that. The other thing I worry about too, I'll show you up here in front. See this here? Rusted right straight through, a little hole there. The battery tray is kind of shot. There's evidence of rust here, that's why I say I think it's been a respray. They say the car's all original, but something tells me this fender used to be red. I don't know what. I just got that impression. This used to be red. This mirror is an option. I got to get up there and tighten it up. It's a little loose, but that's an optional mirror. I think it's really cool. The hood's right there. Just hang it up just to keep it protected, keep it away from everything. We're at 9 minutes. See, so you swear 9 minutes, man, this thing's done. It sounds great, right? Nothing wrong with it. Maybe I worry for nothing. Maybe I am letting it heat up. Maybe I need to get the fan shroud and get the coolant going through it, and maybe that's what's causing the knock, is when it gets hot. Maybe that's all I really got to do is heat it up. I mean, keep it cool. Maybe it's heating up, and what I just need to do is keep it cool. Yeah, like I said, if this is all it did, I'd be happy. So this engine's not rebuilt, but it did come out, and I redid all the gaskets, all of them. Manifolds, I did the valve covers, the whole front timing cover, water pump, that all came off and got new gaskets. The oil pan, There's a new front main seal, not a rear main, because you got to pull the crank to do the rear main. I also pulled the transmission out, cleaned all that up. It's got a new filter, new gaskets down there. It's got a new flex plate, not a damper, a damper plate on the balance flywheel in the back. I painted, oh, this is a new power steering pump. I painted all the brackets, I painted the engine, I painted the manifolds, set the timing. Everything's pretty much all set, you know? I made this gas line. It was a piece of rubber hose. I don't feel like it should have been a piece of rubber hose. So this fuel line is funny. I'm looking for the fan. There's no fan there. This fuel line right here. See? It goes right down here to the fuel pump. So that's a new fuel line. I want to paint the cover. I can get a new disc. So it says Old Rocket. I can get a new one of those. That looks brand new. So you paint this breather black and put a brand new cover on there. That'll be sweet. It'll look so good. And that's it. That's it. It's like, put the power steering pump on, put the fan on, put the fan shroud, drive this fucking thing. Right? Except it ticked, and that's what made me nervous, and that's why I want to see here. I don't want to get 10 minutes down the road, have this thing start to rap. I need to get a little polish for this. That's a little dab from gasket cement I got on the finish. Get a little metal polish, clean that right up. I'm getting steam. Oh, here it comes. You hear that? Starting to develop. I got steam coming off this lower hose still, man. See how loud that's getting now? See what I mean? See what I mean? Temperature gauge does read 200, almost 210. Maybe it's overheating. Maybe the lack of fan and fan shroud sitting in this garage for too long. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's just heat. Maybe it's just the heat. There's definitely steam coming off the radiator. I've tried so hard to seal this freaking thing. I really think it's just spill. It was leaking out that bottom hose. Let me see if it's leaking underneath. No, it's not. It's dry under there. But anyway, that's what I wanted you to hear is that rap. You heard it starting to tick. You heard how much worse it sounds as it really starts to go in again. Maybe it's heating up because I don't have a radiator. I don't have a fan pulling the air through the radiator, and maybe it's not cooling. It did hit 200 degrees, so that's kind of warm. So there's my problem. I can put the fan in and the shroud, flush the power steering, and connect it all up and take it for a drive and see how it sounds out on the road instead of in here in the barn in an enclosed space. See if airflow keeps it cool and it doesn't develop that tick if it stays cool. Maybe it is just heat. But if I'm wrong, then I'm someplace out on the road when it starts to tick and I got to drive it home with that noise, and maybe it does damage, maybe it seizes a bearing, or maybe the whole engine seizes up or throws a rod. So that's what I'm worried about. The other plan is just to right now, stop now, take it back out, take it apart, new rings, new bearings, new oil pump. Just do it. Just do it. Make sure it doesn't have a problem. Make sure it's making oil pressure, that it doesn't have loose rod bearings, doesn't have a bad main bearing. Change the rear main seal while I'm in there. So that's it. That's the question. That's where I'm at. 15 minutes. Good time to stop.